An important key function is the lighting towards your videos, because you could have a bad camera, you could have a good camera, you could have good audio, but if you don't have the proper lighting, it's not really going to go well. So in this podcast re-recording, we talked about lighting and what we recommend. Now this is pretty long, so there should be a bit of timestamps unless I actually forgot. But let's get into it.
Your videos. So this is the most important thing that I know that existed, because when you're lighting your videos, all this will be linked in the description below with the equipment listed, all that stuff. So do we want to, actually we are going to be talking about why lighting is so important. But lighting is mostly really, really, really important, but it gives a shallow depth of field. Just like right now, I have these couple of lights in the background, but I have natural sunlight, so I just had to have my background with these fluorescent lights, LEDs, and all that. While at the side, or let's see if I can pull it up on the GoPro. Come on, let's see if this camera thing can work. So let's pull it up on the GoPro. You can see that there are some light in the background right here, because natural light is free light. So if you don't have any money or any budget, and you can just record your videos right by the window, because it's giving you the shallow depth of field, and then basically you don't really need to get a light, but you need a light for the shallow depth of field and to see. Because I'll just give an example. Let's just say that you're in your garage or in a empty hallway that has tile floors, and you know that there are slippers on the floor, and you're just trying to go to the kitchen or to the car at let's just say midnight, and you're just walking along the way, and then this is what you do. Let me go ahead and pull this out. This is what you do. You're like, where am I? Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. And while you're doing the Indiana Jones, you're like, I forgot I had a phone, and you had used it, but because of how far it goes, you can't really see it, and you only saw that small LED at the end of the hallway, which is like a small night light. I have one. So basically, that night light is your only direction, but you don't know any object in the way. Then how will your audience or viewers know in your video what you're talking about? So if I black out this camera right now, it's just going to be like a normal podcast. But if I'm talking about a specific object, the iPhone 12 has no this charging port on the back, and then where back? Is it you're gonna be is this the back, or is this the back, or is this corner back? You don't really know. That's why light is needed, and it gives you the cinematic look and interviewee type of look. I know that Ben does use lighting a whole lot, so what's your way, or yeah?
Well, I'm a guy who tries to keep it simple as often as possible, and I have some flat LED panels, a little bit of a 3-point lighting system. But yeah, I try to keep it simple. So I have a key light, where most of the brightness is coming, and then maybe about 50% on the other side. And then I don't even bother. I probably should, but no hair backlight or anything like that. I have as much separation from the background as possible. These are for my A-roll shots, and maybe a little bit of an accent blue light in the background, and this cool little LED strip that I just got. So just a little bit of touches to maybe spice it up, but trying to keep it simple at the end of the day, trying to keep it as bright as possible, which helps camera and keep that digital noise down. And when I first started out, I had just those tiny little LED panels that are pretty affordable on Amazon. All links down in the description. And trying to keep it simple, but keep it lightweight, keep it portable, keep it cheap and budget friendly. I also use, I think you put in the link, there's these corn cob lights, they're called. They're just smothered in all these little LEDs, and those can just screw right into any socket that's around. And so even if you just have a couple lamps laying around, you can just screw in these really bright LED bulbs, and that'll give you nice, clean 5600 Kelvin daylight, white, balanced lights.
Yeah, so basically we have AuthenTech's or equipment right here of the best light that he has. So right now he has an LED light panel that's with like a kit. He got a Falcon one, $235 if you're looking at that on a budget, or a newer Pro at 100%. So these are Brendan's recommendations on lighting.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Elgato. I like Elgato, especially if you're a gamer. But so for right now, I mean, but the only thing with the Elgato key lights, and I like what Ben said too, is keeping it affordable. The Elgato key lights are pretty on the expensive, especially when you're just getting started. But I would just say, yeah, I mean, if you could just get something just like a ring light, and I mean, you can move these things around. You don't need to be a girl who's doing makeup, right? You can. It's a great thing to have that may only cost you, say, $50 or something, and that can light up your room big time. And you can adjust the light. But like you're stating, just having that consistent light flow. You know, the only thing with the outdoor lighting is that you can't really you can't adjust the sun. So as the sun is moving. That's the only thing, but that still shouldn't deter you from getting started. So I love that Reagan said that if you don't have any light, try to learn how you can use the natural light. But there's so many affordable ways to get lighting that it shouldn't steer you away from it. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if we're going to use the natural sunlight, you should just go on YouTube and watch like how can I get soft light, or like there's like a whole lot of resources if you don't have any like money, or like you're on a budget and you just only have sunlight left. So you can go ahead and like watch those types right after the stream. But my recommendations, hold on, let's go ahead and look at the StreamYard thing is like pretty weird. I gotta get used to it. Anyway, right here is what we got for Brendan. So if you want to get the Elgato key light, it's like $200. And the one that he has, this is like, I tried finding it. I'm gonna go ahead and find like the one that you currently have and place it in there. But this is an alternative at 140. So in a bit.
Yeah.
So this is the light that I have. So this right here is the SunPack LED 96. I got it from Best Buy, and it just cost right now $20. I used to film my cousin's weddings, but because of the pandemic, I couldn't really film those weddings. Basically, one of my cousins, they just gave me this lights right after I filmed one of the other weddings of my other cousins. And basically, these were one of the options. I have it right there in the background. I don't think, yeah, you can't really see it. But however, this does need a double light, which is the downside. But there are like these rechargeable batteries that I use for it. It works great. I charged it like already 10, 15-ish times from the past couple of days of just creating and just ramping up the content. And so if you're just going to get on Amazon, there's also one that's $24.99. That's a newer. This is the one that Sean Kennel also recommends. I always have to say it's great because then it's like you get like the actual battery. You don't have to get other like even more batteries at all. So here are the prices for the prices on Best Buy if you just want to get rapidly. Right here it's like $11.49 for the day rechargeable batteries. For the universal battery charger, it's just $36.49. There's like a small difference in between. I don't know why, because Amazon for some reason likes to overprice things, including one of these shelves. One of these shelves right here. This is from Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's like around $20. I checked on Amazon before getting it, and on Amazon they price it at $80, which is so high.
Interesting. And I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of Newer too. I like the brand Newer, and that's actually the ring light that I use. That's the Newer light, and so yeah, I like that you're recommending that brand. I think it's really good, affordable, and they have a lot of budget friendly products that you guys can use, especially if you're looking to get started with your lighting.
So the reason that lighting is essential if you just got on to stream is because it's your first impressions of your video, and you don't want to be walking in a garage or like a hallway, pitch black. You only got like a tiny night light in the way. There will be a no-go because you're able to see the detail, and you're able to hook people because like all of us here on the stream, Brendan, Ben, and also myself, basically the thumbnail is the #1 impression before your hook. And before the hook is actual video, which is after the first 15 to 30 seconds. So lighting is really, really essential. So if you're going to be thinking of upgrading, lighting is the first thing that you should go, but there's another thing that we're going to talk about that you should also go if you're thinking on upgrading. But let's go ahead and pull this up, if this can pull correctly. Okay, so right there, not cool. Quality over quantity. You have to think about your quality before the quantity of your videos, because if you produce too many videos and you're like, I'm just gonna ramp this up or like something like that, it's not going to be well, because you're going for the quantity, but you're not focusing on quality. So make sure that you focus on your quality over the quantity. And I see that my brother's in there. Hello, my
shout out to Hugo.
Hugo, yeah.
What's up, Hugo?
The next one. Yeah, what's up? Let's go ahead and just do that right there. So his question, let's see. Do you have any tips for doing videos outside? Does anybody have it? Like, I would just say, like, you want to go?
So you're talking about making YouTube videos outside. Any tips on that? So yeah, now it depends if we're talking about the equipment we're using for going outside, or if we're talking about just making content, because I'll show you something else that when we're talking about lighting and things like that, then it all depends if you have a DSLR camera, because then you can use products that will get rid of the glare and allow more light in your lens. Now, when we're talking about, say, audio, you have like the Video Micro, which is super cheap and will get rid of the wind. So, you know, having that windshield on one of your microphones, that would be a big one. I see a lot of new YouTubers getting started, and all you can hear is, whoosh, whoosh, you know. So lighting and audio and all those things, yes, but just finding there's so many places, especially like even now during the pandemic, you could still go to parks, and I don't want to speak for every state, but I would just be cautious about your surroundings and where you are. And but I think it's good that you're getting started going outside. That's something actually I would like to start doing more on my channel. It's just hard being in the military, having kids, and just trying to find the time to where I can actually go out and leave my family. So I don't know. I think that it's just, yeah, I would say be cautious about your surroundings and the sound quality around you. But
yeah,
use your
definitely
phone.
second that.
Yeah.
I think he's spot on. Jumping ahead a little bit, I know we're going to cover sound in just a little bit, but when you're outside, you have all those weather, wind elements and stuff to be careful of. And you know, I like to shoot with, you know, a lot of my things I like blue skies, but you're also going to have more harsh lighting, so maybe find a bit of shade. I think you know, go under or behind a tree where you might have a little bit more smooth, softer lighting. That's always a nice tip, because if you're out there in the sun, if the sun's directly behind you, you're going to be kind of dark and underexposed, and it might be kind of noisy image. Or if you raise that up, then it's going to be super blown out. And then the opposite is when that sun's maybe on your face, it'll be really harsh and contrasty. And unless you have a really, really fancy camera, that's not going to look too pleasing on your subject and stuff. So usually I like bright sunny days and find some shade, or if it's overcast, that kind of gives you that nice softbox. They call those clouds almost like a softbox effect, so you have that smoother lighting. It's just not as pretty blue skies and stuff like that. And then also I'm going to be back in like 2 seconds. My mouse died, so I need to grab a little battery pack, but I'll be right back.
Good. And I wanted to talk about too, so when let's just say you're getting started. And I told you guys, if you're coming in right now, what I said earlier was get your phone out, hit record. You know what I mean? And what you can use is, and I'm pretty sure this is for iOS too, Filmic Pro. You want to get yourself Filmic Pro. And a big reason for Filmic Pro is because of, I'm going to show you guys right now this feature. So when we're going into this, now you can adjust and hold onto the light. So let's just say first you're recording with your phone. Try to hit record and just test it out first and make sure you're not completely, I'd probably look like Casper, right, if I was overexposed. So, but with this, they have an exposure feature. So it's going to show you if you're overexposed, it's going to give you that red light. So I would just say absolutely that investment with Filmic Pro is going to help you big time in locking in that light. And that's another thing too, is why Filmic Pro, I love it, is if I didn't have it, for instance, my light panel in front of me, we were talking about that with the Elgato key light, it's giving me consistent light. Now, if you're just using the lights in your house, it's gonna feel like almost a flicker effect. When I first started YouTube a couple years ago, that's the first thing. It looked like I had strobe lights in my house because the light, the lens in your phone is trying to capture that light, and it's just going in and out. So Filmic Pro helps you, especially if you don't have lighting yet. It helps you lock in that lighting so it doesn't flicker on you.
So with Filmic Pro, I know that one of the, I forgot the creator, but they talked about it. But if you're gonna be on the phone, it's an alternative for its Pro movie recorder if you just want the free type of version for it. So yes. Go ahead, and we're just gonna show that a little bit more, just in case anybody wants to get that one.
Because it is $15 for Filmic Pro.
Yeah, $15 for Pro. So I'll have a link in the article later on today. After we take that for you. Okay. So basically, if you have harsh light, camera angles. So if you have harsh light, or harsh light does not have to be outside, but it can also be with the LED panels too. With what you have, just newer, there's usually a wax gel to give you or put on or something that you have to get. So a cheap way, I have my light down there, but anyways, a cheap way for the light is basically just a towel or a napkin, and then just tip straight onto is it's basically just to tape it straight onto the light and then have it on there, because it's going to fuse it, but it depends on how many rolls. I usually have 1 or 2 towel rolls on it, but it's just like a towel basically. Well, not really a towel, but a napkin type of towel, because then it's gonna diffuse it. And I know that Sean Kennel also mentioned, Brendan just went offline if you were just wondering, but I'm gonna wait for him to reload. There he is. So basically, when you're outside or still with a light, Sean Kennel had also recommended recently, and his partners on his channel, is basically that you can use is a shower curtain maybe if you want to, and it'll still diffuse natural sunlight or either the current light that you have. So next one we have up on the topic list is what's best for your tech videos or any videos. So this can be
Now with most of these podcasts, you could hear a ding or a ring or a bing in the background, and most of you might know that it could be the fire alarm. Well, it is the fire alarm. And the reason why that you're hearing it is because it was recorded in February 6, 2021. So it had been fixed. You don't have to worry about it. But I'm Reagan from ReaganVFilms Tech. I hope that you can find all of your lighting needs for your video and get it all done and dialed in. Now, I'll see you on the next venture. Shaka and Mahala.